I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast, cause we still alive. No big, I feel like Pac. I shoot a shot. I'm coming in hot. Yeah, coming in hot. Just like the fajita. I write what I live. My life in the speaker. I'm nice with the flow.
You
Just
good,
like the
Daniel?
demeanor. I'm feeding my fam.
Okay, so welcome everybody.
They got the iron while I got the steamer.
I'm a
I
little
bring the fire,
perturbed
but you
today.
never seen her. I testify,
Talk
I don't
real
need a
bad
subpoena.
about my
They want my soul,
co-host.
better
He's
go to Korea.
supposed to
I
be
love my
here, and with
dog,
this
just like a fever.
amazing guest that we have here today. And so Charles is, I guess Charles is a little late today. Charles, we're
MIA.
I don't understand that. Thanks a lot, Charles. It's all good. But of course, so this is the Understanding a Man podcast, and we just wanted to come to you guys today. We have a topic that we've been wanting to talk about for a while, and we have an absolutely amazing guest that has happened to. She was only 2 minutes late, but it's
You're being nice.
but it's all good. But I had the pleasure of meeting this person last summer, and so I think immediately when we first started talking, there was just a conversation, the level of just knowledge that this person has, and just not only in just from a relationship side perspective, but just overall in life. And so I have the pleasure of introducing the amazing Miss Alexis. I was going to go into your middle name, but I went. Miss Alexis Williams. How you doing today?
I am doing very well.
And
Very well.
I could go further into introducing you, but I want to give you a moment of just letting everybody know who you are today.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I could do it if you want me to. I mean,
Yeah, so I'm Alexis. A lot of people, you all may know me from Will Packer's hit series entitled Ready to Love. I am on season 2. This is on Oprah Winfrey's network, and that was a lot of fun. I am a native here, I guess, in Atlanta.
Right.
I've lived here now for
wait. Before you go any further, where are you from?
Kansas City,
Okay,
Missouri.
shout out to
Shout out
Kansas.
to the Chiefs.
What? Man, let me tell you something. All day, last night, everything, folks just hit me up. I know folks hitting you up.
Oh,
too.
my gosh. Yeah, everyone is so excited back home. People are reaching out to relatives
course.
in Miami that they haven't spoken to in forever. And they're like, hey, cousin.
Exactly.
Remember
and
me?
I don't really have too many. I don't know. Miami's all right to me. It's
Yeah.
not like, it doesn't
I mean, I've been so many times now,
Yeah, that's what I'm
too.
saying.
It's
It
like
doesn't really-
not a big deal.
really
But
do it for me.
just being there to celebrate
Yeah.
with Kansas City Chiefs fans and all
Yeah.
of that would be fun.
Shout out to all the Kansas City Chief fans, and
Yes.
then those other people. We're gonna go all the way.
Oh, for sure.
I mean,
we
and
are.
I've been trying to tell people, and I don't want folks to think that it's. Listen, they're gonna go all the way.
Yes.
The reason why, because this is my year, like Elam King's year.
Oh, okay.
So everything that is attached to me goes with that.
Oh, I love it.
So
I
the
love
Chiefs,
it.
they going all the way because this is already my year.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love that, though. That's a good philosophy. Let me touch you. Okay.
a little bit of that favor, all right. Even those of you listening to this, the favor is just coming off of you onto now through your ear canal. But anyway,
Yeah.
and so how I guess you were kind of going into who you were, whatever the case to be, and you've had a chance of inside of Ready to Love, and just also inside of your life as well, just
Yeah.
overall dating arena.
Oh, yeah.
And so the more that Alexis and I had a chance of conversing, the more that there's just so much opportunity that's inside of this area of people they don't even know how
Yeah.
to date. They don't.
I agree.
They just be out there just doing whatever.
Yes. Instead of, taking some time and kind of readjusting and reevaluating where they are in their life and what they want.
Right.
So people are just jumping in after relationship And I always say that I think that it's important to sit a couple of plays out.
Right.
Date yourself.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
no. Oh, see that. See, you want to jump right in.
Oh.
So that's fine. We can go right. And
I'm
so,
just saying.
so you said set a couple of plays out. What is it? So what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so I think that it's okay to sit a couple of seasons out of the dating arena
Okay.
and just get familiar with yourself. And I think self-reflection is really important.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes people just date to date.
Right.
You know,
And just
they are in the
entertainment.
fear of being alone. But I think there's a lot of value into sitting a couple plays out.
Let me ask you. So if I'm just dating for entertainment, it should be okay. As long as I'm not being committed, though, right? I mean, if I'm just dating just to date, I'm letting you know
Yeah.
up front, look, I'm not in a committed situation. I just, a foodie call or something like that.
A foodie call. I'm down for a foodie call now. Is
That's it.
food involved?
Yeah, foodie calls are serious in Atlanta now. Women call
that's
guys
true.
just for food. We talked about that on an earlier episode.
That
yeah,
is
foodie calls are serious.
hilarious.
So,
And it's expensive.
what?
To be a single man out here where you're footing the bill.
Thank you for acknowledging that. That's
Oh, yeah.
to let
Yeah.
those folks know out there, because I hear them talk about footing these bills, and I'm just like, wow.
Well, that's why you got to stick with one woman or
Okay.
two at the most. But when men are trying to juggle 3 and 4 women, and you have to pick up the tab for that.
Mhm.
But let's talk about the guys that are doing this and want you to split the tab.
Okay,
Then you
and
have that guy.
I was going. That was next, but see, you just want. I mean, so you just your assumption is automatically, and even in just saying that, and we'll kind of go back to so another portion that you were saying, but you just feel like if a guy dates, that he's supposed to grab that bill each time.
I think that it's really up to whomever has extended the invitation.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
if I said, Elam, would
Okay.
you like to go bowling
Uh-huh.
next Saturday?
Okay.
I'm picking up the
Okay.
tab. I'm taking full
So
responsibility
just don't
for
ask.
that.
All right. So that.
Oh, wait a second now.
So basic guys, don't add. No, I'm just playing. But okay. All right. So yeah, if you say coffee, I get the coffee, right?
Right.
If you say go to dinner, I got the dinner.
Mm-hmm.
But what if you say? But sometimes y'all ladies be like, I want to do something.
Yeah.
Now, what does that mean? Now, so if you want to do something, so what's next?
Well, if you're dating
Uh-huh.
me and I say, yeah, we should do something,
Mhm.
hopefully by that stage, I kind of already know
Right.
your financial situation,
Mhm.
because that's a conversation that I actually have, pretty early on. I'm not afraid of that conversation.
I'm glad you just went there.
Yeah. I'm not afraid of that conversation because that sets expectations.
Right.
I don't want to do things that I know you can't afford to do.
So how do you lead into having that type of conversation? Is it like, we go for coffee? Is it like this? I sit down and da-da-da-da-da, you got like 10 questions that you ask, or like, do you ask it over the course of a week? How do you
Ooh.
dissect me to say that, A, I'm qualified enough to date Alexis?
That's a good question. I would hope that it would kind of
Hey,
come
look, y'all
out.
write this down now. 'Cause if you wanna
Organically?
date Alexis, now.
The conversation should come out organically, right?
Right.
I don't have like a checklist of things that I feel like, oh, I gotta hurry up and answer this or ask this question during this date. So for me, it's just one of those things that it needs to be discussed. You can find a way to position the
But
question.
how can somebody do that? Like, if we're sitting and talking. Is it that you're just looking for context clues inside of what I'm saying, or are you asking specific questions to extract?
a little-
So if you want to know what I do, whether I got enough paper to date Alexis, right?
Oh,
But no,
gosh.
I'm just saying. Think about it, right? You say you talk about it early,
Yeah.
right? So how do you decipher? Is it I'm telling you where I'm going to work at? Is it? I mean, what?
First, I pay attention to detail,
All right.
right? I'm paying attention to the dates we're going on.
Okay.
And I there's a lot of, I guess, information that is in front of you if you pay attention.
Right.
So, for instance, I'll give you an example. I went on a date once that this guy asked me out on a brunch date.
Okay. Brunch.
Okay.
Come on.
And I'm always down for a good brunch date. Okay. Never going to turn down
Foodie
food.
call. All right.
It's a foodie call. And
call,
anywho, so when we went to order, put our order in, right? It's brunch, right? So
Right.
I went for the mimosa. Okay. But right before I could even say, this is what I want to drink, he cuts me off and he says, well, we're not having any drinks today.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Whoa,
Well, wait a minute. You're
Mhm.
not having any drinks today. I want a mimosa.
Right. Okay.
It's not a brunch until I have some mimosas.
Okay.
So anyway, paying attention to things like that. I wanted to know, was this coming from a controlling place, or I just don't have the
We went
means right
into the
now.
controller. Okay. All right.
But
Right.
so that
okay.
particular time, I didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was another time, the same gentleman,
Uh-huh.
there was a similar situation where he was like, yeah, I'm a dessert person too. So I wanted to order a dessert. And he cuts me off. It was like, we're not doing dessert today. So I had to ask.
Where were y'all eating at? I just got to know. I mean,
I think we were at
oh my goodness.
Poor Calvin's.
Okay.
Okay, I love that restaurant.
Right.
So anyway, at this point, I said, hey, I can pay for my own drinks,
Mhm.
but I need to know like what's going on.
Mhm.
Like, is it are you working with a particular budget that
Man, could've been looking to buy a house or something. I mean, but
and that's okay.
Mhm.
And that's what I'm saying. That's important for me to know. I would love to know that
Right.
that you're paying off some debt, that
Mhm.
you have plans for something. But if you just don't have it, you just don't have it, and that's
Right.
fine. But it's important for me to also be equally yoked with someone financially.
Right.
So I need to know what that gap looks like. Is it a temporary gap,
Gap.
or are we gonna be struggling together?
Mm-hmm. And I think that it's a certain age bracket, or sometimes, or no, I won't even say a certain age bracket. Sometimes it's okay to have that financial expectation. I think that there's a difference between gold digger
Yeah.
and I can do bad by myself.
Yeah.
And I also feel like that, and let me know what your thoughts are. If you're not financially capable to date, then I don't think that you should be doing that. I feel like that it's rude.
I agree. It's very rude.
It's rude because
Yeah.
like either you're expecting the other person, which is kind of messed up. Like you said, I asked you out, but then I'm like,
Yeah.
what you got on that? Hey, no dessert. Hey, no mimosas.
Yeah,
You know what
I'm like,
saying?
dang, this isn't fun anymore. But
not fun
the thing
anymore.
is, I would have continued to date him if he
Mhm.
had been transparent about, hey, this is my situation.
And let's just go into. I think that if we took a step back even from there, people just knowing where they are, and I think that that's probably the bigger piece. Because if I know where I'm at, then I'm actually able to say, hey, Alexis, I'm on the grind right now.
Yes.
Would love to spend time with you. But for the next 2 years, my head is down, grind.
I love that. Yeah.
And if you still want to hang around, cool. But just know, phone calls all day, night, date night's not happening every week.
Yep.
And then give you an opportunity of making a decision on whether you even want to continue forward. Because, no, I don't
That's
want to be
it.
alone, but for these next 2 years, my girl is my entrepreneurship over
Right,
here, or
exactly.
my 9 to 5 or whatever.
Yeah.
That's who my primary focus is.
Yeah. And ideally, you would want a helpmate. You want someone to help you. Like, I'm good with finances. So I would say, okay, let me see where your money's going. I can be on you about,
Open up my bank account like that, huh? Okay. All right. Okay.
I can be your accountability partner.
Uh-huh.
But at the same time, we just need to lay out what's real.
Mhm.
We need to lay out our expectations, what we can do, what we can't do, and what we want ultimately. What do we want? And people are not so transparent anymore about what it is they're looking for.
If I don't know which direction that I'm going in, but I just know I want to be successful, right? I know I want to be great, but I just don't know what that is. Should I be trying to talk to Alexis?
I would rather not.
You gave that pause was longer than I thought you was gonna answer that off the top, but you gave it a nice moment.
Yeah.
But
would
and why
rather-
is that though? I drive. If I drive something nice and I look nice and I'm making good money, but this is not where I'm gonna be, and I should. You're saying I shouldn't come for you right now.
Oh, no, I heard that wrong. Okay. I thought you said that you didn't know where you
Yeah, I don't
wanted
know
to
where I want to. Like, there's people who have jobs
Yeah.
right now, 9 to 5, but that's not what they really want to do. They're just working. I mean, I can raise my hand. I've been in
Yeah.
that situation.
Okay, I completely misunderstood what you were saying. I thought you were just saying I don't have the means right now. I'm
No.
struggling, or whatever the case may be. I think that if,
Yeah, well, so we went from the broke person first. Okay, you rude, sit down, right?
Okay.
So now you rude, sit down. But then we do have people again, at being 33, 34, 35 was making what people would consider good money, but
Yeah.
I didn't like what I was doing.
Yeah.
So, I don't know my direction yet, but I can afford you at this
Yeah.
point to go date wise
Hey.
and whatnot. I mean,
Wait a second. I don't like the way that sounds. You can afford me.
If I asked you out, or if you know what I'm saying. So, at that point, at least I got that taken care of. But
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going. Should I be trying to date you?
I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I am okay with that. Absolutely.
Okay. And I'm more would be on the opposite side of that, but I understand.
Okay.
But why would you be okay with it?
I think for women
Mm-hmm.
particularly, a lot of us, I think naturally, we are fixers.
I went up. I was like, okay, I see.
You know, we are nurturers and things like that. So it's like, oh, gee, it's not saying, hey, I have everything figured out, because I don't have everything figured out either. But it's like, oh, this guy has potential. We tend to date potential much quicker than guys date potential, I feel like.
Talk about that real quick, because I think that go to the inherent, that whole nurturing piece that you were just talking about?
Yeah. As long as we feel like the shell of it is worthy, then that's all that we need. It's like, okay, this person is a good person deep down inside. He just really needs help getting from A to B.
But that fixer component, do you feel like sometimes that's a blessing and a curse?
It is.
Because sometimes you're taking on a project that you should not be taking on. And I actually, I said this before. Charles and I were talking one time, so I just want to get your thoughts on it. Those of us who know that you might look upon me as you I know you see me as potential. You know, there's guys out there who know, hey, I know I'm potential, right? So that person's gonna, so that he's thinking, okay, she's gonna keep trying because she wants to be the one to, you know, take me to that next level.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to be careful of that.
That's true.
Because we will use you to advance ourselves, and then either, you know, kick rocks.
Yeah, I've been used before. So I understand.
And is there anything that that you want to share that you know, of how to avoid something like that, or whatever case it be, or that's just, you know, because that's a tough one, and I do share that with ladies, because that takes some wisdom, because you know, sometimes you do that for guy A, and then after that you're like, and you're closed off. I'm never gonna open myself up to anybody, and then you're actually hurting yourself at that point.
Very true.
So how do you allow yourself, if you're saying that you've been through it, how do you allow yourself to love again, or, you know, be ready to love? That was applicable for the moment.
Yeah. Because I've been down that path before, I think that I learned that my time is expensive. Right? It's something that I value dearly.
Right.
So if I feel like I'm putting too much time into something and I'm not getting anything in return, I'm not making anything from this investment, it's time to walk away. Right? But sometimes I feel that we all have our seasons where we're either planting a seed or we're watering.
Okay.
And sometimes I feel like, you know, we're used by God. I know that's always my prayers. Use me, use me. And if we're placed into people's lives for a reason.
Okay.
And it could be to build him up.
Okay.
And it's one of those like bittersweet things, because it's like I put so much into this person and this person married another woman, you know, but what if that was my assignment?
Right. I like where you went with that.
Yeah.
And that, I think that allows, that's good, because that allows some people, those of you that are listening that might have been in that situation where you built somebody up, or, you know, they were, you know, you scraped them up off the ground or whatever, and then they might be out there just shaking and moving, and you might not be that person next to them. But what did you learn along that process?
Yeah.
And it's not always, don't give your heart. You know, they want to go to
Yeah.
like the bitter piece of what you know. What did you learn inside? What, like, along that route, you became better somewhere.
I
You
sure
fine-tuned
did.
some type of skill that was outside of just heart.
Yep.
And so that's where I think people really want to more take. That's instead of walking around bitter, because you
Yeah.
can take that and become bitter with that.
Instead of, I think we should shift our mindset sometimes to what can I do for you, instead of what can he do for me? You know, it's like, but how can you add value to someone else's life? You know, I think we're always wanting to take.
Right.
But sometimes you're able to build your character and things like that just based on the things that you could give and do onto other people for other people. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that taught me a lot about myself.
Right. When have you seen yourself in a situation dating somebody to whereas they just didn't know what they wanted to do, in life, or they just didn't have really a direction? Have you found yourself in those situations?
Oh my gosh, yes. Matter of fact, the brunch guy.
Last week.
The brunch guy. He was so fun, and he was so
The
handsome.
brunch guy.
But he was like in a college. He played football back in college.
Okay.
And sometimes, like, his idea of a good time
Mhm.
was to watch highlights. No Netflix and chill. It was let me
Highlights and chill.
Yeah.
ESPN highlights and
Yes, and I'm like, we can't just sit on the sofa and watch your best plays,
chill.
over and over. Like, he was stuck into that
I was
time.
gonna say, yeah. Ooh.
So, and that's, again, not really knowing where he wants to go.
Mhm.
That's for him to figure out,
Right.
And if I'm here,
So what'd you do? You cut him off?
eventually,
Uh-huh.
and I don't cut people off
Okay,
because I think that's so rude to ghost people.
Okay.
I-
And when I say cut off, it doesn't mean like you just, don't call him no more. It could mean that you just
Yeah.
don't.
But I
Like,
just
only
think
call
that,
you one or two more times.
yeah, we'll fizzle this thing out.
Mhm.
And we did. We fizzled it out and let time do its thing.
Mhm.
And I just knew that this guy needed some time
Really?
to figure out what direction, because it's like his heart was still in football, but I think he had, had an injury and couldn't play anymore. And then he just kind of took a job, just something to do.
Mhm.
I think he's like an appraiser or something like that.
Okay.
But
Okay, come on,
he hates
baby.
it,
Yeah.
and he just, again, there's no life in him. So it wasn't fun anymore.
And I think that when you're not walking in your purpose, a lot of times you don't have that level of happiness that's inside of you. So I can see why he would come from that angle. So we were talking about a little something earlier. I want to go back to the questioning piece, because I think sometimes women might struggle sometimes with. I think it's very important for both sides to ask the right questions. But let's just go with that one statement that you said, and I think that everybody needs to look at this: the value of time, the value that you place on your time, and that you're not trying to waste your time. So when you say that you're expensive from a time perspective, I totally respect that. Time and land are two things that
Oh
we will
my
never
gosh.
get any more of. All the time
Yes.
is here, all the land
It
is here.
depreciates.
Just in
right?
case people didn't know.
Yeah, it literally depreciates. So that said, you have to be intentional
Hmm.
with your time.
I like that word.
Yeah.
And so with regard to even saying yes, even if you haven't been out in a while, sometimes ladies just say yes just because they just want.
Yeah.
I haven't been out for a while.
Yeah.
What would you say? Would you tell them to go ahead and say it? Nobody's taking me out. They just want to feel that moment
Yeah.
of being out. Because Valentine's Day is in a couple of weeks, and so we do have something for them as
We
well. We'll talk
do.
about that in a
We sure
second.
do.
To stop people from just saying yes and going out on that day. We got something else you can do. But some people are they just want to feel like I'm going out on this day. This is a bucket list thing. Girls going
Yeah.
out Valentine's Day. No, I'm going out. That's just something that's special for y'all.
It is, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just be real about your expectations,
Mm-hmm.
the person you're
I
going
only
out with.
want you for food today, okay? Just say it like that. That's
Don't do that.
okay. I'm just
Don't
okay.
say.
You said be real. I mean, how real?
We don't want to be that real.
So lie a little bit.
No, what
Okay.
I'm saying
Here we
is,
go.
be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really like this guy? Do you see it going, beyond just
No, she
casual?
just wants some food. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
She just want to go out that day. I'm just saying.
Well, I
So
don't
you're
know.
saying stay home. That's what I'm trying to say. Should she go out with him? Because girls you're going to get asked. They're going to get asked. And should they say yes, knowing that they won't have nothing to do with the dude, but they're going to say yes just to get some food?
That's rude. I think
I totally agree with you.
that is rude. Yeah.
But they're gonna
if
do
you
it.
have no interest
Mhm.
whatsoever and you're leading someone on,
Come on.
that is not cool.
And it's going to come back on them.
That's not cool. Yeah. Let's not do that.
See, ladies, don't do the foodie call, okay?
Mm-mm.
If you don't want to be a booty call, don't try to make him a foodie call.
Or
okay?
here's the thing: if you do a foodie call and you have no interest in this guy,
Uh-huh.
have the decency to pay half of the tab.
Come on. And this concludes today's understanding of man. That's it. I love it. Thank you.
Yeah, seriously though.
Let them know that. And
Because-
we don't even have to say why. We know
Yeah.
why it is, but that's real.
Yeah, because like my needs were met. My needs were I needed the company.
Right.
So if you accompanied me, you did, right?
Mhm.
So I can check that box off.
Okay.
But it's not
Be
fair
real within
to
yourself
you.
because you knew that.
I knew that this is
Oh,
not
that's
going
so
anywhere.
good.
But
I
we're just hanging out.
I'm going to play that clip over and fellas, I'm going to help y'all out. I'm going to see if these ladies are going to step up, know that you're not interested in Craig. Okay? You don't even like Craig.
Man.
But you just
Craig.
don't order, and then don't order no alcohol, no dessert. No alcohol.
No, because you're ringing up the tab
Now
now.
what?
You are ringing up the tab.
Just get you
And so
some
men
rice.
start feeling entitled.
Hello?
Okay? I don't want a man to
Is
feel
there
entitled.
a price point where it's like, I now have to... I'm sorry, I had to take... This is like...
That's a question for men. You mean from a woman's perspective?
Yeah, from a woman's perspective. Is there a point where you say, you look on the menu and you're just like, if I order this, or if I get this or this or this, I'm probably going to have to put out, or he's going to be expecting me to put out. Do women think like that?
For me, hell no. Okay? Hell
But
no.
you just said something about expectations, so that's why I'm asking.
I know, but I can order
Whatever
the
the
finest
hell.
champagne on the menu,
I wish.
oysters, like the whole
wish.
nine, and I'm not going to feel obligated to do a damn thing.
Listen, I wish a mom would.
I'll
Hold
give
on,
you a
what the-
church hug after
Oh
and
my
say,
gosh,
well,
with the
okay.
church hug.
Yeah.
Okay, so then she won't feel obligated then.
Some women will, and that's the unfortunate thing. Ladies,
I think they should.
do not feel obligated.
No. This concludes today's. Oh my gosh, so. Ladies, just run the bill up. Is that what you're saying? You think that?
No,
you
be
think
modest.
that it's okay.
No, we just said it was rude. If
Okay,
you're not,
so you said okay. So
if-
you already know. Okay.
yeah. No, I think that a woman should always be tasteful when someone else is picking up the tab.
Mm-hmm.
If you know you wouldn't ordinarily order certain things
Right.
on your dime, it's unfair to do that to someone else.
Okay, I think that's okay. I
Right?
think that key piece is some people going up in there, getting that 14-ounce steak, knowing daggone well you normally
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
get 8.5.
Yeah.
You know. You know you can't even eat 14 ounces, but you just want to get the ribeye just because you know.
Yeah, it's just respect. Out of respect, I think that you should be respectful.
No, but I appreciate that, and I think that, and kind of alluding into what we gotta let folks know we got something just kind of on the way here,
We
just to kind of help them
do.
out a little bit because
Yeah.
on that particular night, because there's some of us might think that you have to be on a date per se or what have you, or do that foodie call knowing you rude, right? But we have an amazing event coming up. You want to tell them about it? You want me to tell them?
Oh yeah. So we have a speed dating mixer for sexy singles in
Yes,
Atlanta. This is going
Yeah.
to be a great opportunity to come out, network, and also just kind of go through the experience of speed dating. I think that I know that we're going to have some really cool discussions around dating in Atlanta and giving you guys just some plays
Right.
on how to get the conversation going.
Right.
So I think we have a lot of fun exercises
Right.
planned. Sexy venue.
Come
Hello.
on, venue.
Come on, sexy venue. And sexy singles, we need you guys to show up.
Right. And here's the thing. It's Friday night.
Yeah.
On
So Valentine's Day does fall on a Friday, which is
Right.
good.
Right. And we gave y'all a little time to get home, ATL traffic.
Yes.
So you still got time to get home, get cute, or leave work early. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
I think that just the art of just people really talking versus we got text. Hold on. How does it go? Textingship. That's like a relationship with texting.
That's like the new thing.
Textationship. I think that's
And
what
I'm
it is.
a terrible texter.
Yeah.
You know that.
Okay, we'll leave that one. So, but you're
I'm
not that
working
bad.
on
There's
it.
people that's way worse. But, but instead of just people sitting down and just talking,
Oh
and
my
that's one of the
gosh.
things that we were talking about that we want to get
Yes.
people back to of just,
Yes.
that communication because folks want to get behind that phone
Sure do.
with that keyboard courage.
Yep. Yep. And then you get in front of someone on a date,
What?
and there's nothing to talk about.
What?
You said everything via text.
Come on.
And it's like, oh, I asked that. But sometimes it's better to ask those questions in person. You can really gauge that person's level of interest, in your question as well. Pay attention to their body language. You're giving people too much time to think of their clever little answers. Put them on the spot, girl.
Somebody said the other day they were talking about just this let's just, if you can give please, we have to talk about this real quick.
Okay.
Because this shall not happen at February 14th.
Yeah.
Okay? This shall not happen at the speed dating event. But let's talk about the resting bitch face that some women will have on their faces.
Oh.
Somebody put a post up about that last week, and just talking about people who want to date. They want somebody to approach them. Let's particularly talk to the ladies. And so, as men, I want to share with you that it's not okay to have a grimace on your face.
I agree.
It's not. If you're having a bad day, you are entitled to that.
Yeah.
But you just don't belong in a social networking setting.
I agree.
Doing that. If you're in a grocery store, if you want to pump gas and be mean, go right ahead.
Yeah. I think some people do it unintentionally.
Problem.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Do I look unapproachable to you?
I mean, every time, from the first time I saw you, was like kind of cool. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
That's this laid back cool look, like I'm just cool. But then there's that.
Because I'm being
It's not
honest.
like a complete, that the frown, but it's kind of like even that straight line. They're kind of like, and then you got to put the eyes with it and the.
So I've been guilty of the total opposite. Okay.
She did kind of put me on the spot, asking her, did she have
I
that
did,
face? 'Cause
and I wanted
could've
you to
been
be real too.
Hell yeah! No.
But I've been guilty of the opposite. Like I don't have resting bitch face. I have the face of. I can do like a flirty face with just anybody.
Well, you're gonna say the word inviting. You have an inviting.
Very
face.
inviting.
There's nothing wrong
I will
with that.
I have strong eye contact.
Okay.
But then it sends the wrong message to people because then they're on their way up to introduce themselves, and I'm like, damn it.
No. Okay, so watch this. I remember in high school, a very young, lovely lady, won't say her name. She was a beautiful girl. She purposely used to look mean because of that right there. She said she didn't want guys to approach her. And I want to share with every woman on the planet that is the wrong way of thinking. Because to say you're going to look mean to stop a guy from approaching you, you have no idea what blessing you're blocking.
Hello?
Hello,
blessing?
And most of the time, these people are looking for somebody anyway.
Agreed.
If you're not, you don't have to.
Agreed.
Or whatever, but the same, what will come out of their mouth is that they're looking for somebody, but they don't want the wrong person to approach them. Well, Mr. Right doesn't sit there and say, she's looking mean,
right.
but I think I
That's
want
true.
her. We don't say that.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
I mean, is it a thought process that you're having? Because I'm thinking that most of the time that you're looking like that because your thoughts are playing out in your face. Like you're sitting there going through, you had a bad day, you're having a bad year, whatever. So you're not happy in your own space, so that's coming out. Whereas even maybe because, I don't know, maybe you're more happy with inside of yourself. That's why you're just inviting. I don't think that's a bad thing.
No, I'm very inviting, and I think that has a lot to do with my career in sales. I can strike up a conversation with just about anybody and enjoy it.
Right.
I'm a people's person at the end of the day. So I want to be approached. It's okay. Come talk to me.
I'm thinking it's easier to say, no, I don't want to be bothered versus just be mean. And you have no idea who you turning down.
I agree with you.
I mean, I don't know. If you had to give the ladies just some advice about that face that they have, knowing that maybe some of your peers or whatever, what would you share with them about that? Because I'm just going to tell you off the top, we don't want to see that, and you are unapproachable, and and then they go into, well, don't be so weak, just come. No. Do you know what it's like to approach a woman and get dissed?
No, I don't.
It's not easy. So for somebody to look uninviting, we're not. Come on, Daniel, tell him. Look at his face. See, I'm telling you.
Okay, so
we're not
what
trying to do
does dissed mean? Like, what is your idea of getting dissed?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it can come in so many different.
A
nice letdown is a diss too. You know what I'm saying?
What?
But I'm talking about like the guy you say you didn't ghost him, but you slowly fizzle on out. You dissed him too. You just did it nicely.
Okay.
But we're talking about you're at we're at the a network event that we'll have, right?
Okay.
We're at the speed dating, and I just come over to you, and you buy the bar,
Yeah.
and then you just say, I'm not really interested or something. Like that would hurt my feelings. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, it would hurt
but you're
anyone's.
entitled to
Yeah.
do that. But I think that you can do that nicely. Like you don't. How do you turn them down? Maybe you need to share with the ladies how to turn them down, and you don't have to be like nasty about it.
I think you just be straightforward, and say, unfortunately, don't beat around the bush. If you're not interested, just say, hey, it's really nice to meet you. I'm not interested.
Because you can still have conversation with them.
Oh, I can still, yeah.
Yeah, because some people want to.
Yeah, no. You can continue on the conversation. What brings you here? What do you do here in Atlanta?
Yeah, but no, you might hook up. I mean, it might be a money hookup,
It
for,
could be
for some type of
another
career
opportunity.
piece. We won't
Yeah.
even look at like relationship.
Yeah, very true.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, because I like to talk and network with people, I never really cut the conversation off just because I'm not interested. Keep talking. Be nice about it. You don't have to say I'm not interested and give someone the cold shoulder. Like that's rude.
So what was communicated is the reason why there's sometimes that some women are angry is because of some of the things that they might have been through, and then that was more of almost used as a justification for why, okay, well, if I want to, and I've seen memes about this, I've learned to master was it the grimace? What was it? The mean mug or whatever. And I was like, you proud of that? Like, it's not okay.
It's not a good
now
look,
you
ladies.
all the way single still. But
Aw.
now the persons that I saw with it, they're still all the way single. All the way.
Okay.
So it's obviously not a good idea. But, I mean, hey, I just...
Being single can be lit sometimes.
It's nothing wrong. It's the ones that say that they don't want to be.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't contradict the two.
Yeah.
You want somebody to come approach you,
I
but you
thought I
want to
would
look
never say
unapproachable.
That I would never get
Uh-oh,
comfortable
say it.
with the single
What?
life. With the single life.
Uh-huh.
Because I've always been the girl that's been in long-term relationships.
What's the transition that made you move into, okay, it can be lit, like it's okay?
Oh man. Getting the opportunity to meet people. It's frowned upon when you're in a committed relationship to just go befriending new people that, you're like, who is this person you just met? That you can't do that.
Right.
That's like law, right? When you're in a committed relationship. But I have met some amazing people since I've been single.
Okay.
And that I would not have met or given the time of day because you kind of cut off that conversation out of respect for your significant other.
Right.
You'll say, I'm not interested, and it ends there.
But
you can't have like these platonic friendships and be in.
Okay, hold on. I was trying to go one place. See, you want to go somewhere. Okay, is that okay? Because, okay, all right, we dating, and you just, I'm out of town doing whatever, or I'm across town doing whatever. You're sitting there having a conversation with somebody, and obviously they're kind of feeling you, right? But then what they do is a compliment to maybe what you do.
Right.
You're saying it's better to just not deal with that person because you think I'm going to be upset because you think I'm going to know that he like I don't know, because I know I'm not that type of person, because if I'm with somebody who's attractive, somebody else is going to be attracted to them.
Yeah.
So
but let's
you got to
be real.
deal with it.
If I met someone just out and about, we exchange numbers,
right,
and we strike up a friendship.
Okay.
And I'm like, hey, Elam, I'm getting ready to meet, the guy that I met a couple weeks back. We're getting ready to go have coffee. You're telling me you're cool with that?
Yeah.
You are rare.
Now let me tell you something.
And so am I, because I wouldn't either.
The younger Elam wouldn't have been. I would have, just off a GP, I'd have been like, man, that's disrespectful or whatever.
Yeah.
But the 43-year-old Elam, the one has been walking in not only personal development pieces, but then also just understanding networking inside of entrepreneurship. I mean, I know that, is that still recording? Yeah. I know that it's going to take you to be out.
Yeah.
In order for you to go to, make a move. Yeah. So, even if we were in corporate, I mean, you're going to, there's some happy hours that you got to do. There's some, there's some additional. Now, it's a difference between, as long as you understand what's inappropriate and you're not going past that mark, then that's something different.
Yeah, that comes with a lot of trust and respect for one another. But I do believe when you get in a committed relationship, it's not a jail sentence.
I was gonna say that makes it seem like
You know
I
what
can't,
I mean? Like, I
but that's
can't
where I
do
was going with it,
anything.
because I don't think that
It should
I
never
want
be.
I want women to understand that that does move into a controlling factor
Yes, it
on both
does.
sides.
Yes, it does.
Because there are women who are just like, they get mad at their men. They might be the corporate person.
Yeah.
Right. And so the guy got to shake and move and do his thing, and she's just like, well, why you got to go here? Well, why you got to go there?
So
He's
for
like, yo, this is
instance-
how I'm getting my money. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
So for instance, this came up on the show. We had an opportunity to meet the exes. Okay. And I met.
I did see that episode.
Yeah,
That was
so
funny.
I had
was
an
funny.
opportunity to meet the guys that I was dating. I got a chance to meet their exes.
Right.
And for me, I've always thought it was pretty lame to say you're not allowed to communicate with your ex. I'm not comfortable with that. I think it's very childish. So, I communicated with the ex that I still talk to my ex,
Right.
and she was like, oh, she tried to make a big deal out of it.
Right.
But I said, ma'am, hold on. You're here because
Right.
you still talk to this guy that I'm getting to know and I'm
Right.
dating. So that's like me saying, I don't
that
approve
part.
of, I said, so this sounds like a double standard here a little bit. And, and it is. I just think that it just makes no sense. If you had a solid friendship
Right.
with someone,
Right.
you care about that person, to just cut them off cold turkey because you're dating someone else.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't understand.
As long as you're
it.
not crossing, those
There,
boundaries.
yeah,
whatever
there are
the case may be.
boundaries.
And
Yeah.
then some people you just don't want to still communicate with, because you might.
But you
get
cannot.
back.
Here's the thing: women and men, but women in particularly, we think that if we can control the environment,
Okay.
then all things are gonna work out just fine.
What do you mean by that?
So if you're not talking to your ex, we're hanging out all the time.
Okay.
It's like if someone wants to cheat, if someone feels that urge, it's going to happen.
Right. Whether you on
You
every
know,
phone call.
so-
you need to say that again, because some people feel like, I try to tell people, like, if you got to check in when you get there and when you get back, and there's
Oh, my
still so many
gosh.
different things in between.
Yeah.
So what's the point of all that? Like, who can keep up? I'm sorry.
yeah.
Just go ahead.
No, I'm saying you can't have your significant other attached to your hip.
Right.
So if you
Velcro.
have
Come on.
trust, if you don't have trust, you have nothing.
Right.
For one.
Right.
Okay.
That
So
part.
let that man fly.
That's
Let
small
that man
part.
fly. Don't. It's crazy. But that's back to us saying earlier. It's not a jail sentence.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, no-
Everyone, you and I were kind of like rarity here.
No, but there's a lot of people that they feel like that. There's some people who don't want to commit, because they're like, okay, well, the moment I do, I've had guys. One of the guys in my book, he was saying that he was just like, I won't say his name, but he was just like, man, like, I know so many women, and I know he does, and then he was just like, so it's hard for it, and it's been some challenges along that
Okay.
way inside a relationship, because he's for women, if you're unmarried, they're still like, okay, hold on, you still ain't married
Yeah.
her yet, so I still can
Yeah,
shoot my shot.
that's true.
You know,
Oh, that's
I mean,
unfortunate. But yeah, women do think that way.
but
Women think that way with men that have
Yeah,
rings on their
that's true.
fingers.
That's true.
Hello?
Atlanta,
And that's a hot mess.
I've said it forever. I was like, Atlanta, the ring on your finger is a better.
Yeah.
The people, I was
that's a
like, oh
sad
my
truth.
goodness, that's crazy. Because you look safe. That's what I was
Yeah.
told, and I'm like, but we'll get to that. That's a different conversation.
That
different day.
is.
But but I'm glad that you said that, because I think there's some people that need to more embrace just having more of that empowerment inside of their relationship. And I think that there's some things internally. If you're upset about your significant other going out or doing stuff that's connected particularly to their revenue, to their purpose, this is what they do, then you don't belong in their life.
I agree.
Because I always try to share with women, take a look at what a guy's doing, and when you're in that when you're thinking about committing to him, and then ask yourself, do you fit into that world? And maybe you fit because you like the price point of what revenues he bringing out of that and what you can take advantage of,
Yeah.
but understand the cost that comes with that.
Oh,
And if you can't pay that cost,
Hello?
don't purchase.
That's a word.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not right, because don't think that down the road he's going to change. This is
Yeah,
what he
yeah.
does.
Yeah.
So if you can't fit in that world, just let him be somebody else's blessing. And you be somebody else's as well, because that's
That's
too
a
many.
good point.
That's too many unnecessary conversations.
Yeah. I agree.
Golly.
Yeah. That's why it's really important that, You fit in someone else's world and they fit into yours. Don't force it. Do not force it.
And I want to go to this last point because I'm not going to say who particularly, but when I was watching the show, it would seem that there was a person that was in there that wanted to more satisfy this bucket list and kind of fast forward through the dating area.
Yes.
So, instead of asking the correct questions or whatever case it be, it's more like my eggs are like, waiting. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just kind of like, but there's a lot. She is a microcosm of I can think of about 5 to 10 women right now that are speaking that same language. They're in their late 30s, 40s, some are pushing mid 40. They're like, yo, these eggs about to crack.
Oh gosh.
You know what I'm saying? No, but I'm just saying. So, women in your life, that's what you was told. You got to be a mother, right? So, that's just, got to be married and got to be a mother. You got to be that, right? So that bucket list is making some of them fast forward their decision making.
We don't want that.
We
don't want to do that.
And I don't think that that's a very wise choice.
Right, I agree.
But and I'm not a woman, but is there like this burning desire, like y'all just sit around and just be talking about them eggs getting fertilized all day? I'm just saying.
No, but we do understand that it's a time-sensitive situation, and because of that, it is something to think about. So if we're not on the same page here,
right,
then we need to get to the point, make a conclusion, and go our separate ways.
Okay.
But obviously, you don't want to come in with that with every single, a person that you come to contact with, and you're like, okay, let's have the baby talk. It's like, no, this talk ain't for everybody,
right?
And it does scare, I guess, some men away. But hey, maybe
it should.
Well, maybe it's scaring the right men away.
And I think that's...
Let him go. Let him run along, honey.
Right.
Goodbye.
But I think that sometimes, do you feel like that women make a more hasty decision because they're thinking about those eggs? And, he already had this attribute about himself that you couldn't stand, but you went ahead and laid down, and now little Johnny here, and now you still mad that he still does this thing.
Yeah,
but he
don't
did
do
that
that.
before,
Don't
Johnny.
compromise. Do not. To me, creating life
Okay.
is such a big decision.
Y'all should have saw her eyes light up here, y'all. Go ahead.
This is my favorite conversation to have.
Her whole face was like, bing. Okay,
I
go
want to
ahead.
have babies. However, ain't going to be with just anybody.
But no, I'm glad that you said
know?
that because there's a desire in you for it,
Oh, yeah.
but you're able to table it.
Oh, yeah.
Why is that?
Because it's like, I feel like one of the biggest decisions I'll make in my life.
Okay.
I've made it this far, 33, without. I'm going to be fine.
Okay, so what if they're 40?
If they're 40?
Like if you were 40, do you see yourself having that same, I'm just, you don't know.
You don't know. You
Right.
don't know. But I think the sense of urgency if I was 40 would be intensified.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I would probably be more on edge if I was 40.
On edge or just make
Of not wanting
a horrible decision?
I'm not going to make a horrible decision.
But see, and that's where I'm trying to find
Yeah.
the difference between that two.
That's why you have to know to filter through some of the men you're dating. Know how to get to your why and understand that this is not the guy that you want to pursue on that level. Or maybe you do. Some women, they've got it going on in their careers. They don't really need much from you.
Right.
Maybe they just need you to be a donor.
Yeah, come on, sperm donor. I'm just saying, but won't they just go on down to the sperm bank and just...
No, no
Wait a minute.
shame. I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
because somebody is down there right now,
I'm just
and I'm
saying,
not mad at it.
It's just, why not? Instead of going through all the other drama, just going. You can pick out a perfect one. You can pick out who. Listen, Daniel. Instead of them putting us through all that, right? Just let them go down there and purchase some. Being Mary Jane did it. Well, she was trying to anyway in the little show.
Well,
why not?
women, we don't do that unless you absolutely have to do that. That's like the last.
Well,
resort.
I think that's better than you trying to catch Craig up and then slap him on child support. Or
that's
just
a disaster.
I'm just saying, I've watched this happen over the past couple of years. I'm just like, you knew y'all weren't compatible.
Yeah.
But you wanted to get that egg fertilized.
Yeah.
You wanted to check off that I mean, let alone people who get married and do that. But
Oh, and that's
we're trying to go
that's
into a whole
another.
nother. That's
Another day,
that's another
another
episode.
episode.
Oh my goodness. So before we get out of here, first of all, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me, Elam.
It's gonna be like a part 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, because I have more stories for you that I wanted to share. You guys thought the brunch date story was something. I didn't even tell you about the Maserati story.
Oh, wait, hold on. Well, we got like 2 minutes. I mean, I'm just saying.
I didn't even tell you about the trip plan to Miami.
Ooh.
And the gentleman put me on a Spirit flight.
Oh, not the Spirit. You got to pay for air on Spirit.
Let me tell you something. This is why having conversations about finances is important.
Right.
Because why are we riding around in the city of Atlanta in your Maserati?
Right.
And this is a half-seat situation. So it was my idea for us to go on vacation. The show had just ended. And I said, all right, well, let's go ahead and have some us time.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And funny thing is, I'm on my computer and I'm looking at places to stay while in Miami.
Right.
And I found some bomb places. Okay.
Miami,
And I put thought into this trip.
Okay.
You hear me? Like I picked 3 places
Come
out.
on, tender love and care.
We were going to do a glamping situation on day 1.
What's glamping?
So it's a bootleg camping.
Okay.
It's not the real deal
did
camping.
I lose points but not knowing what glamping is?
I'll tell you all about it later.
Okay.
But it was a cute situation.
Okay.
Okay. So we were gonna put our cell phones down. Really spend time to get to know one another.
Right.
Okay. There's no cameras around and things like that.
Right.
So that was day 1, and then I found a really cute condo for us on day 2, and then another spot. So we were like in different spots.
Okay.
I really planned this out. Okay. And once
I wish I had seen the intensity in her eyes when she just said, I really planned this.
I really planned this out. It was so cute. And so I said, okay, so these are the dates we're going to go. I tell you what, since this is our first trip,
Right.
I can pay half.
I was about to go there because I was going to say, well, you said earlier when you offered.
Yeah. I mean, this was a collective decision.
Right.
But I said, it's our first trip.
Right.
I'm more than
pay
willing.
half.
Would you like for me to pay half? And of course, he said yes.
Of course.
And of course, in the back of my mind, I still gave him stank eye, like, oh, get out of here. You want me to pay half? You lame.
You offered it.
I know, but I wanted to see what he was going to do. But either way, I was still cool with it, right?
Okay.
So immediately, once we agreed that
come back to that. I wanted to see what he was going to do. See, play. That's games right
a
there.
little bit, I need to know what kind of man I'm dealing with,
Okay,
right? And remember, I said plant the seed so that you know you don't have to come out and say, how much money do you make a year? You don't have to do that.
Okay.
Pay attention. So I'm paying attention, right? And okay, so I said, all right, I'll pay half. So I decided to pay for the rooms in our stay.
Okay.
And I said, well, you go ahead and grab the flights.
Okay.
As soon as we agreed that this
That's
is what
the
we
bigger
wanted to
item.
do,
Yeah, I know that's the bigger item.
I pay for the bigger item. Absolutely.
The flights. Oh, because. Well, yeah, depending upon accommodations.
Yeah, I pay for
accommodations
the-
could be way more. That's right.
Get this.
Uh-uh.
I get my credit card out.
Uh-uh.
I book our accommodations.
Okay.
And I said, all right, here's our confirmation.
Did
We're
you get the
good.
insurance on it? Did you put the insurance up? No, go ahead.
I did. That's why I was able to get a refund because Hurricane Dorian came through and canceled our whole trip. But listen at this.
Okay, come
Watch
on.
this.
Uh-huh.
Okay? Stay with me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's his turn. I've sent him confirmation. We're taken care of.
Right.
Go ahead and get our flights.
Mm-hmm.
So he sends confirmation because I said, well, when are you going to get,
Mm-hmm.
our tickets? And he said, I'm going to get it today.
Right.
So he sent me my ticket either that day or the very next day.
Mm-hmm.
But when he sent my ticket,
Drum roll, please.
it was either Spirit or Frontier.
Same thing.
Okay, but either way, I think I've only flown once on one of those, and it wasn't a good experience. And I used to travel a lot for work, so I'm used to either Southwest or Delta.
Right.
So I did it made me a little concerned because my ticket was only like $60, $60 or 70 something bucks, and I'm like, wait a second, I've been bamboozled. I spent the most money here. So I told him, I said, well, let me say this. I said, drinks and dinner is on you. When we get to
Exactly.
Miami,
Oh, my
I'm putting my
God.
credit card up because what in the world? Get this, though.
My face crack.
Listen, I'm not even done. So I said, well, where's your ticket? He said, I'm getting mine on Thursday. I said, you didn't. So are we not going to sit
sit
together?
together?
He said, we'll work all that out, at the front desk. At the front desk. So I'm like, well,
Wow.
okay. And, he
I didn't know
blew it
you could
off.
do that.
And I said, well, but in my mind, again, I immediately thought financial restraints.
Right.
You know what I mean? And let's just talk about it. And I think I asked him, like, well, what's going on? And
again, it's okay because, like you said earlier, if you're pushing for something, training for something, it's okay. I'm about to buy this or buy that.
I told him I was concerned. I said, can we not afford this trip right now? Just like talk to me. What's going on?
Right.
Why do you have to wait until Thursday? And he said, I'm an entrepreneur and things like this. But and that may be well and good, but we are driving around in a Maserati.
Right.
And you for one, you didn't even check in with me to see if I was comfortable with flying Spirit or Frontier.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Done that better.
I feel like he should have, because then you would know, like, hey, I had a terrible experience with Spirit. I don't want to do that again. I can give you, if it's a money situation, I can give you the difference. But this is why we have to talk about finances.
But in all fairness, let me just, if I had to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, please do.
It depends on how long we would have been talking. I don't know whether I would have been that forthright with saying if I'm, I probably would have, because I want you to know, like, listen, I might get it down here.
Yeah.
But like right now, I'm working on my credit. Right now I'm
talk about it. Let me know. Let me know.
At the same time, and if it's to that point where we've been talking for a little while and I'm feeling you, I'd be like, listen, I know that this is a concern. If I were you, I would be, I would understand it, but just know that this is where I am. If you can kind of hang around.
Yeah. Is this a one-off
You know what I'm saying?
situation?
Give me 6 months, give me 3 months, and then give you an opportunity. And I think that I think that that's a good point to lead to, because I think that men, we're gonna have to value ourselves to the point of just knowing who and where you are, because when you do that, then I can say, and also this is why you got to date inside of your pedigree.
Hello.
Because when you say to me, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm working on this, I can register something in my brain immediately. Like, okay, entrepreneur working on this.
Yeah, but is that an excuse?
No. And then I can ask certain other questions to see, because you could just say, I'm an entrepreneur. Yeah.
You're an
I'm
entrepreneur,
in the studio,
but it's like you're not prioritizing certain things, because then you're spending your money on these designer clothes.
Exactly. There you go.
You're upside down.
There you go.
You're not doing this thing right. And like I said, I'm a helper, so we can get on the right path here.
Right.
But what's important to you? Because
Right.
if these things are not important to you, then I'm wasting my time.
Right. Because if you're talking about and there was somebody else, I just won't say her name, that was actually on the show. We had a great conversation, and she was just like, listen, I might just not be able to date right now, because if I'm dealing with money, I'm trying to get this line of credit over here.
Yeah.
Line of credit so I can go get this $500,000 or this $250,000 to go
nothing
make
wrong
these
with that.
purchases.
Hats off to you.
Okay, Alexis, I will be right back after these messages. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
And if you can still be there, cool. If not, then this is why this Frontier ticket is coming in right now.
Yeah.
And you need to be okay with it.
I would be. But the conversation this is just why you don't avoid certain things. Like,
Right.
Let's talk about it so that I know what I'm dealing with. But trust me,
So just so that a man can hear this, because I think that that's important. I think a lot of times we don't say these things because we feel like that we're going to lose you. And so, being, you're basically sharing that, listen, ladies would rather know, and then give them an opportunity of making the decision. I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm just saying, because I think there's some guys out here saying,
that's a good
it's
assessment.
a little tight for me right now.
That's
but
a good assessment.
But I don't want to lose Alexis, because I think she might.
Because then the perception is skewed. If we don't know the truth of what we're dealing with, then it's like, I'm going to have a totally different perception about you, when if I had known the facts, then that perception would be different.
You got to tell the truth sometimes, gentlemen.
Keep it
and
real.
I know.
Then you'll get rid of the women that don't need to be around.
That's right.
Hello?
I do like that. Okay.
So, fellas.
Hey, listen. So the moral of the story is tell the truth about where you are in life. It we don't want to always say this is finances, maybe because your time is money per se.
Time is money.
And so you might not have the time for somebody right now.
Yeah.
And be honest with that up front. And maybe, it might be another 6 months to a year before I'm going to free up. Might be 2 years. But if I don't want to lose Alexis, On average, I'm gonna lie.
And see, that's selfish. That's selfish.
I hear you, but maybe you'll like me down the road because
Or maybe we're wasting both of each other's time.
Okay.
And let's not do that.
And I think that's important because you don't want to build that level of resentment. You want to
Yep.
give somebody, present them exactly who you really are. Alexis, I know as we're again, we were trying to end, but then let's close out and talk about our event. Yeah, we actually do want to do that.
Yeah.
So
You gonna do a new video?
Oh yeah, I just cut it later.
Is it recording?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna close out, and we want to invite everyone. I did a post, a save the date post. Our event is the Shoot Your Shot dating mixer for sexy singles in Atlanta. This event will be on Valentine's Day.
That it will be.
So come out, have fun with us. We're going to have a panel discussion about dating in Atlanta.
I think that, hold on, maybe I just scoot over here.
Scoot on over. Get in the frame.
Look, I'm bringing the mic over here. But I think that on that particular day, if you do not have any plans, we definitely want to invite you out.
Yes.
The venue is?
The venue is super sexy, and it's called Zari.
I was going to say, she might not be releasing it right now.
Yeah, this is a new R&B karaoke spot on Thursdays. I think Jagged Edge is a part of this partnership. But a good friend of mine is the owner of this spot as well, and he's opened the doors to us. So, again, this is a new sexy venue here in Atlanta. Perfect ambiance for a dating event.
Food is good.
Food is amazing. Drinks, hookah, and the music will be really good. We're going to have some sexy tunes.
And really, this is going to be a better experience also from we can call it speed dating, but it's going to be really just...
It's an experience because this will be one of many that you and I are doing. We're going to come to a city near you with our workshops, with our dating experiences. And there's just so much in the works, and I'm just so thankful for this partnership here because you're looking at two individuals that have been very successful in their sales careers, and we're merging our sales experience
I ain't even ready for that
with the dating experience. And
they ain't ready.
It's a God-giving, thought that was provoked and placed upon us. This is our assignment, and I'm thrilled.
Hey, listen, you guys need to make sure that you come out February 14th, Zari. We will have the information is going to be available online. You can check. Give them your social. Oh, let that fall.
Oh, damn.
Man, we was right on the. Had to put
well,
that
it didn't
clip
go
in.
off. Just give
Okay, yeah, we can bring it back in afterwards.
Okay. Bloopers. That's a good bloop.
I know, right? Did you get that one, Daniel?
This is why you don't do bootleg things with bootleg people.
And I'm so sad because
I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast because we still alive.
Okay.
No big.
But anyway.
So you were saying.
For definitely just for everyone.
I'm coming in hot.
Give that moment of pause. But definitely want to come out February 14th for the Shoot Your Shot dating mixer. They're going to have a lot of fun. And those of you who haven't made any plans, if you've made plans, just cancel them.
Cancel all plans. Come out. I am single myself now, so I may also throw myself in the game. So fellas and ladies, if you know a king out here in these streets of Atlanta, introduce your girl. Okay, I want to meet him.
And how many minutes? They're gonna get like a couple of minutes.
So you got 4 minutes.
You got 4 minutes.
And Avance Boys, you only got 4 minutes. We're gonna also show you guys what's really important in sales. Okay, should we tell them? Should we give them the game? Free game? A little game? Okay.
I should have gone live.
So, why did you go live? Why didn't you go live? Go live.